Hello, amazing human, and welcome to Neurodivergent Bytes, a podcast for neurodivergent entrepreneurs to understand systems, change the narrative about productivity, and embrace yourself for who you really freaking are. If your energy is being sucked, you're struggling to focus, or you know you need systems, but there's a disconnect for whatever reason, join your host, that's me, Karalee, along with fellow amazing humans on how being a neurodivergent entrepreneur has impacted the way they do life and business. If you're looking for bite-sized action steps, you're in the right place. Hello, amazing humans. Welcome back to Neurodivergent Bytes. I am your host, Karalee, and today we're actually going to be diving into task management. Now, I haven't done an episode on task management in a hot minute, but you may know, if you've been listening for a while, that my task management system of choice is ClickUp. ClickUp is my central hub for business. Everything gets filtered through it, but primarily it's to keep me on track. What in the world do I need to do today? What do I need to do tomorrow? What's due in 3 months? When are these bills due for business? Like, when does this project have to be done? What are the deadlines, right? Now, how can I sort it out? What information do I need to have for my business? So I use ClickUp as information storage, but also for task management. So due dates, what they are, breaking things down. I use it for calendars, so events and what needs done for different things. Launches, we can put it all together there. You can have your launch plan and your actual task of what you need to do each day. Right? There are so many ways to use task management, but specifically how I use ClickUp for my task management is what I find to be a game changer for myself. And there's a lot of other clients I've worked with as well that I integrate or streamline their ClickUp for them to where they can use it to keep information storage all nice, right? So many things have been brought to our attention when it comes to technology in business and communication, all of that, because, well, maybe because of the pandemic, but even before that, right? All of these things existed before that, but now we see the real power of how they can keep us connected, right? And so if you want to give ClickUp a try, you can go ahead and head below. I also did a starter series on my YouTube channel that can also get you started as well, to just kind of walk you through the basics of ClickUp and to see if that would be something that you would like to work with. And of course, we have full scale ClickUp setup as well here. And you can go ahead and head to the show notes and fill out the work with me form if that is something that you'd like to have more information about. All right. So task management, like, what in the world is it? Right? Task management is when you're able to take all of the millions of things that are in your brain and we're able to organize it down into something like ClickUp that is going to remind you when things need to be done, right? It's kind of like when we use our Google Calendar, right? Reminds us of doctor's appointments. It reminds us when our kids have events at school. It reminds us of, gatherings that you have with family, right? A lot of us use Google Calendar or whatever calendar as our task management. And that is time blocking at its finest, when you actually block out the time on your calendar for a specific task. However, hello, my name is Karalee, and that does not work for me. That actually is a very overwhelming, very triggering, and I will get nothing done. So I have a different form of how to do this. And that's basically blocking off time for a certain category of tasks, right? So let's say, for example, social media, marketing sort of thing, networking stuff, like, that realm. Let's say I have an hour for that. And I am going to, and there's tasks I have to do for this category. And let's say there's 10 of them. And now I'm going to go, okay, here's the start of my hour. Feeling pretty good about this. This feels pretty good. And which ones inside of these tasks, which ones feel really good though? All right. So it doesn't mean that it's number 1. It could be number 10. It could be number 4, whatever. Right. But I'm going to go with the ones that feel the best. So I'm blocking off time to work on my business, but I'm not forcing myself to do a specific category or task at that given time. I'm allowing that time to come. And I'm allowing myself to feel very into what feels good for me. Okay. And that's something that doesn't like helps me with task paralysis, analysis paralysis, even because I'm just leaning into what feels good. What is pulling me in? And if it's nothing, that means I'm overwhelmed and I need to go do something like meditate or read a book. I need to, or do that thing that's been nagging you, like maybe clean that room or, whatever's been nagging you. Like, I just need to get this done so that way I can focus, right? Don't ignore those things because you're not going to get as much done, right? Your tasks are not going to get checked off if we have other things that are literally taking up so much space and energy in our brain. So go do that one thing and come back and you'll feel so much better. I actually did that last night. I have so many projects to finish and I was like, okay, I have time to work right now. I want to work. What is bugging me? Like, what can I do? What is pulling me in? What feels really good to work on? And it was actually a project that was on the books for Friday, but it was something that was bugging me that I kept putting off. And I'm like, the due date's approaching. I'm like, I do need to do that. Doesn't matter if I scheduled it for Friday. It feels good to get done now. And there's nothing on the schedule for today. Like, I absolutely have to finish, right? Because I don't do it quite like that. Like, I put like, this is what I'm doing for the week, and we figure out how we can break it down, what feels best. So I ended up getting that project like 95% done because I essentially hyper focused on it because that's what felt in alignment to me at the time. And it was bugging me and all these things. So I was able to actually get it done really, really fast. And so take that into account when you're talking about your task management, especially if you start having things get overdue or if you find yourself like things are really getting slowed down. It could be a bottleneck. If you listen to last week's episode, I talked about operations and what bottlenecks are, and bottlenecks are where things slow down significantly, right? Is this a place where things slow down significantly for you, as in managing your tasks, right? Like, or your tasks just written all over the place on Post-its and in notebooks and thrown all over the place. Maybe they're thrown in your Google Calendar, but they just keep passing and you actually haven't completed them, right? Do we have a central hub where we can literally check it off, or we can change the date, or, you know what I mean? Like, we can actually keep track of what's going on with it, right? That's why I like ClickUp, because I can keep track of all of those things. And so get yourself organized. Decide today, what are you going to use for task management? Whether that be a paper planner, whether that be a notebook that's dedicated to task management for each day or something, whether that be an online software like ClickUp. I'm not even going to name any other ones because I don't like them anyway. But there's things like Asana and Trello and Notion. Those are the ones that are most talked about. Okay. I have tried every single one of them. I still like ClickUp the most. So that's me. I love ClickUp. But as a little tidbit, I actually used to hate ClickUp about 2 years ago when I first tried it. It was super overwhelming, and I was like, there's no way. I even bought a course, and it still didn't make any sense. But actually what happened was I didn't have someone that could explain it to me, and I didn't also have the knowledge of what a task management system was supposed to do for me. So like, it was overwhelming. 2 years later, almost 3 now, I guess. Now I'm like, OMG, ClickUp is the best. Love it. It does everything I need, and I know how to organize it, which is also why I help you organize it, because you don't need to go through 3 years of trying 40 plus different project management systems to figure out how in the world they all work and which one works best for you and all the things, right? Facebook will bring up all of you put in Google project management or task management systems, and it's going to bring some up. And then Facebook's going to take over from there. And then it's going to clutter your entire feed with all these ads for all these other systems. So actually what I did a couple years ago was literally screenshot all of the project management systems that popped up on my Facebook. And if they had a free trial, I went and tried the free trial to kind of get an inside look into it, right? That is how I found all of these different things about task management and what it's supposed to do for me. But I want to shorten that for you. You don't have time to go out and try 40 different task management systems, nor do I recommend it. That was overwhelming. But it was my job. Like, I was like, this will help my job, so it's totally worth it, right? But there's more than 40. And yeah, like the 4 I named are just the ones that are more well-known, right? And so many different things. So if you're like, I need a task management system, I'm not really sure what I need, I suggest ClickUp or send me a DM. We can get it figured out where you can get started. But ClickUp does have they do have a free version, free for life version. And obviously there's more when you pay for it. I do pay for it now, but I didn't pay for it for almost a year and a half. And then I decided I needed a few more features, so I paid for it. But yeah, you can have it free for a while. So yeah, that is why I'm so passionate about task management. I literally, my ClickUp got a little overran. Be honest, right? I'm not perfect. My ClickUp got a little overran. There's a bunch of overdue stuff. Like I need to do an operations audit on my own business again, because things are definitely slowing down. There are bottlenecks. And so like I'm working toward really refining my task management again. Because as I'm growing and as I'm doing more things, I've had to go in there and archive stuff. I've had to move things around. Like my business is pivoting, right? So like I've had to like, what do I need now? What do I not need? What is the most efficient way to do this? How can I streamline this? Right. So I do that about once a quarter because that's what's needed. Once a quarter, things have shifted or things aren't relevant anymore. Like we got to clean up all the overdue stuff. Some of those overdue things actually you don't need to do, and you actually just need to delete them, or put them in a parking lot of some sort, right? A parking lot is something that you kind of create, and then it's like it's parked for later. Is kind of how we look at it. It's like a parking lot, right? Each idea is a car and it's parked. I love that. So this is how we clean up things. And if you haven't done an operations audit on your business yet, I actually put together the top 5 most common bottlenecks that I find in businesses. And I put it together in a guide for you. And I ask you 5 questions, and then I break it down into small pieces to where you can actually work it out to see if you have a bottleneck in that area, right, in your business. And then we actually work through like solutions filled with a bonus. There's also a bonus in there of 2 personalized recommendations for me to make the most difference really, really quick in your business when you actually fill out the whole guide and send it to me, so I can kind of see inside your business and what it looks like, right? So this is game changer for your business, especially like the task management is game changer, but really doing a full operations assessment on your business is really doing a full operations audit on your business is really going to be game changer. And then there's also options, of course, to work with me and do a full scale of your everything, an operations assessment as well. So there's totally options. The DIY operations audit is completely free to you. We walk through the 5 most common bottlenecks in your business, in businesses. And then this is geared toward someone with a team or someone that wants to bring on a team, or if you're really wanting to lay the foundation, like I recommend, to where when you are ready to scale, bring on that first team member, or bring on another team member, that you're able to really have those 5 things that I talk about to be able to have those like already streamlined before you even bring on a team. I am always someone that has said we need to have the foundation in our systems and in our operations before we even bring on a team member, because I have worked for teams that have those and I've worked for teams that have not. Well, guess which ones were much better to work for? Yes, the ones that have the foundation in place, right? I have had a business with the foundation in place, and I have had a business without the foundation in place. I have tried to add a team member in both of those scenarios. Guess which one went better? The one where I had the foundation in place, right? This is what I love to teach. This is what I love to support people in, right? So it starts with your task management. Get a task management tool, stick with it, okay? If you're not sure what it is that you need, send me a DM. And then grab the DIY operations audit, completely free to you. You can head to the show notes and get all of that. And seriously, just start seeing if you have any of those bottlenecks where things slow down significantly in your business, because task management might be one of those things that you address. Hey, it's one of the questions. A lot of people don't have task management down, all right? It's actually question number 1. It's the most common, which is why we're doing an episode on it, right? But there is so much more to it. So I break it down even more than I did today in this podcast episode, right? So if you have any questions, head to the show notes, follow me on one of the social media platforms, send me a DM. We could totally chat. All right. Completely open to supporting you and seeing what your next steps might be. If you haven't grabbed the DIY operations audit, go ahead and do that. Like I said, it's free, and we can get you really started on laying that firm foundation to either bring on that team or be prepared to bring on that team, or really refine that team and figure out what in the world is going on there. Right. So have an amazing rest of your day, and I will talk to you next time. Bye for now. Before I wrap up today's episode, I want to thank you for joining me on this journey to empower neurodivergent entrepreneurs. I hope that you've gained valuable insights and a fresh perspective on productivity and self-acceptance. No matter where you are in your entrepreneurial journey, I'm here to support you. These transformative conversations will equip you with bite-sized action steps that you can apply immediately. Let's redefine productivity on our own terms and create a business that aligns with who we truly are. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast to receive the latest episodes and join our amazing community of neurodivergent humans. Remember, being unique is our superpower, and together we can rewrite the rules of success.